Hey everyone, Mark Diaz here, Design Star 6 finalist, HGTV, hanging out, antisteez. Boy, this structure brings back so many memories. The idea that you can create a structure that connects you with the environment and connects you with nature is I think the goal in any great architect. You know, first and foremost, I mean, I'm here and I'm already connected with the water, and I'm not even looking out into, I'm not even looking out into the bay just yet. So, getting into, you look at this column line here, and the entire weight of this building is broken up into a series of columns. It's broken up into a series of ancillary columns, primary columns, and vertical wall structures. You have these massive beams that are holding up all of the stairs. These are all the seating. This is everything. This is sort of the underground guts of the space. And these beams that run across here, they really hold up and create this. They create the structure to allow it to not torque, to allow the building to not twist, and gives it a lot of lateral stability. My favorite part, one of my favorite parts, is being able to look through here, and you get these awesome vistas, these little vignettes, and these vignettes are very much like, it's kind of like a modern day column structure that you would see in Roman times, except this was built in 1963 and at the height of like mid-century modern design and architecture. So it's an achievement. It's a major achievement, and it's a building that I think since 2006 has been one of the top 11 historic architectural preservations that we've been doing our best to like revive. I think we need to make that happen. And just all these little things are so important to creating any given space, but specific to this structure, it's just beautiful. It's just simply beautiful. And then coming out here, perfectly unobstructed view of just beautiful water. I remember coming out here and watching the power boats. It was, power boat after power boat, with water shooting up 20 feet in the air and just these boats flying at like lightning speed. I just remember like being in complete awe as a kid. But then, when it was getting slow and it was getting like, in between the races or before the race, I just remember like looking up and just looking at this structure, and I don't know, I was always really drawn to construction sites, and because this was never painted, it was never officially like given like a fresh coat of paint or anything, it reminded me a lot like a construction site, but at the same time it was very finished, and the raw in the building itself is what I found so much beauty in. It's just every detail was taken to expose it. I mean, you see the veins of where they basically, if you think about the way that a leaf is designed, like you have all of these little veins that pop out, and it gives this visual structure, and very much so you almost see the same kind of veining, except that's where they used to actually put the planks of wood in order to pour the concrete. So unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, they created that, and honestly, it's such a beautiful use of space, and it's remarkable, engineering feat. Well, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, the fact that you can have a stadium right on the water's edge, and you can have a amazingly cantilevered rooftop that just shades you, and it's like kind of a perfect harmony. You have a parabolic, hyper-paraboloid roof structure that cantilevers and kind of has this zigzagging pattern to it that allows basically for it to support itself. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a reptilian, like, the facets on a reptilian's face or a reptilian's body. And I really like it for that. I also like it because it's raw. It's 100% concrete and steel. So though that combined with it always felt like a construction site, even when it was complete, just was really beautiful to me. I'm definitely into nature. I'm a purist when it comes to design, and you know, when it comes to nautical design, I mean, you know, what better place would you experience that than Miami? You know, especially because, you know, we were home of, like, you know, one of the biggest Art Deco districts in the world, and you know, that's all. Basically, all Art Deco is influenced from nautical design. You know, and that being said, I mean, I found myself at home architecturally here in Miami. The entire journey for Design Star started with an email, and the email was for the audition. My girlfriend Vanessa had gotten the email while I was hunting down for some materials through some local big box retailers. She started reading me the audition requirements of, you know, what a Design Star finalist needed to be in order to be, you know, audition for the show. And she thought I was perfect for the, you know, for the position. I thought, wow, this could be an amazing opportunity. And I remembered quite literally, I stopped in the middle of the store, and I was thinking of my grandfather. And my grandfather, before he died, asked me if, you know, or I made him a promise that any opportunity that would come my way, that I would take it. And so what I actually did is I decided right there in that moment that I was going to apply for the show. Came back to the house and put together my bag, put together my portfolio, grabbed my laptop, and basically gave Vanessa a kiss, and my buddy picked me up. And we ran out the door. So we drove 10 hours. I dropped him off. I drove all the way through the night. I didn't sleep. As I dropped him off at the airport, I rented a car, then drove 4 more hours to the audition. I had my laptop in the passenger seat, and I was reading everything on the passenger, you know, in the passenger seat from the computer. I was reading, and it was basically all the questions that were on the application. So I basically read the questions, and as I was driving, I was recording into my phone. So I'm driving, recording in my phone, editing it in my phone, emailing it to Vanessa, then having Vanessa type it onto her computer, email it back to me, and then at that point, when I got to the audition location, stopped into a Kinko's and decided to basically copy and paste everything into the editable document that I had, printed it, went into the W Hotel, changed into the bathroom, dressed up as best I could into the nines, got all cleaned up. I think I even shaved, and then I walked up to the audition desk with my paperwork, my portfolio, and I was like, "Hi, how you doing?" And so I went off, and from that point on, it was callback after callback after callback after callback, and then I was told that I was going to be on the show. So as I began to walk over in here, I noticed that there was a little cubby hole, and I saw the cubby hole and decided to kind of go inside and just see what was there. I mean, and this all came from my background in, you know, just really being on construction sites, you know, I'd grown up as a kid. So I started to notice there was a bunch of stuff on the international, rowing regatta, and then I started to notice there was a lot of other paperwork that was here, you know, during the 60s and 70s. So at that point I was like, you know, there's an opportunity to find some really cool stuff and a little piece of history, you know, and the first file that I found was it was June 12th, 1977, which was the day before my birthday. So at that point I said, I gotta take a look at what's going on deeper in here, and so we did. So the documents that we found were all stuff from the 60s and 70s, and some of the items we even found is you know, boxing paraphernalia, whether it was the flyers, the brochures, even photos. We have one photo of Muhammad Ali. We also have you know, a bunch of concert photos as well. So it's a fantastic find, and you know, really we want to document it all, record it, scan it, and then, you know, just turn over the findings probably over to the city of Miami, and in hopes to use some of this concert and racing information towards, you know, bringing back the stadium. You know, I mean, I think that this is it's pretty fantastic to come upon it and then have an opportunity to salvage some really great stuff. In addition to finding not only the documentation, but was also able to find some of the original seat backs to the stadium seating, and lucky number's always been 7, so found this one. It had number 7 on it. It's pretty perfect.